Hey everyone, Tim here, and today we're talking about preamps, and specifically, can you add an external preamp into a live sound situation? Why on earth would you ever want to do that? What are some of the advantages to it, and what are some of the considerations that you guys need to be aware of if you're going to walk this path? Now, if you don't know what a preamp is, quite simply, it's an amplifier that creates a small electrical signal to be processed later on down the audio chain. So whenever you plug in your XLR cable into your mixer, you're plugging it into the preamp, and that creates an audio signal to be processed by your EQ, your compressors, effects processors, or whatever else you may have in the signal chain. Now, why on earth would you want to bypass the preamps that are already built into your mixing console for something external? Well, different mixers are designed and built for different applications, and they all have their own unique tone or sound quality to them. And whereas a broadcast mixer may sound a little bit different from a live sound console or a studio console. And but there are also a lot of advantages and disadvantages to different consoles. In our example here at CWC, what we did was we used to have an analog console, a Midas Verona, and the Midas had a very nice set of preamps built into it, and we loved the warmth and tone that we got out of them. However, as we looked forward to what we needed to do as we moved on in the future here at CWC, we realized that we needed to go digital because it offered a few more advantages to us, such as a graphical interface for the mixing console. We could save scenes, we could save channel settings, we can network this board, which means that we can have control of it from an iPad anywhere there's Wi-Fi in the campus. Our vocalists who use wireless in-ear monitors can actually dial into the board from their iPhones and mix themselves on their aux from their phones. And so there was a lot of advantages to this. However, one of the things that we missed is the warmth and tonal quality from the preamps that we have from the Midas board. Now, as the name implies on this one, this is a studio live console, which means it needs to be working for studio applications as well as live sound applications. And so one of the decisions that they made at PreSonus is to provide you with very clean, transparent preamps, which definitely you want in a studio situation because they've been putting preamps in front of mixing consoles for years. Also, they wanted to give you clarity from your signal chain, and they've done an excellent job with that, and so we have a lot of clarity in our audio source and audio signals. So one of the things that we did was we said, hey, you know, we've been doing preamps in front of mixers in the studio environment for years. Let's take one and let's put it in front of the mixer and see if it helps us at all. And this is a 500 series preamp. This is actually a Rupert Neve Designs Portico 511. And this is, if you don't know anything about the 500 series processors, go check them out. They're really, really cool. They come as cards that you insert into a chassis, and that's what this is. This is the radial workhorse. And quite simply, all the connections are on the back of the chassis, but the actual preamp or EQ or compressor or whatever you buy it just comes in right here. What we did was we plug our wireless microphone into the back of this, and then coming out of the back we go into the line in on our mixer, and what this does is it bypasses the preamp on the Studio Live console. And for our application here, guys, one of the things that we discovered was it made a huge difference for us, not only in adding back the warmth into our audio signal, but it made it easier for us to mix that vocal because it just set in the mix so much better. And one of the things we really liked about this one, the Rupert Neve Designs one, was it had the silk feature, and we can actually dial in the warmth that we want into our audio signal. So for vocals, this works tremendously well. Now there are other types of processors out there, preamps and stuff, that you could use, but for us, we kind of like this one. One of the things that we're also going to do is not only do they have 500 series, they also have rack mount series. So understanding that this works well for us, we're going to go ahead and in the future we're going to get some Midas preamps. They make a rack unit of 8, and we're going to put those for our instruments. And then for our speaking vocals, we have two microphones for that. One is for our pastor, and one is what we call the speak mic for anybody else who's going to come up and talk. We're going to use some Focusrite ISA 2s for that, and it's a 2-channel preamp, and it does an amazing job for vocals. You'll see it on a lot of voiceover artists. They do that. So we're going to add these to our rack units, and it's going to make a huge difference for us. Now, some considerations, guys. One of the things you have to understand is if you're thinking about this, you have to think of the environment that you're putting this into. For us, we are in a static application. We're not moving in a touring setting. We're not setting up and tearing down each week, maybe like a church plant would that has a venue that they come and set up in each week. So it allowed us the opportunity to acoustically treat our room, and it also allowed us to do acoustical analysis on our room. So we shot pink noise, referenced it back through an RTA mic. We were able to EQ our room so that the room becomes more transparent. And with the clarity that we got from these preamps, we can tell a huge difference coming off the preamp. So for us, it made a huge impact. Now, if you're out in a touring environment or you're setting up and tearing down, the advantage may not be as huge, or the sound difference may not be as huge. So take that into consideration if you're thinking about one of these. Also, these preamps are quite expensive. So if you've got a rack of them, you're going to be spending a little bit of money on top of what you've spent for your mixer in order to make this happen. But guys, for what we're doing here, it is made a huge difference, and we really, really like it. So that's it, guys. Hope this helps you. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Like and subscribe to this video. It helps us out a ton. And I'll do my best to answer any comments that you guys put. Well, thanks for viewing this. You guys have a great week.